Hey guys, welcome back to another video. To those that don't know who I am, this is Derek from Certified Legacy. You can call me Derek or Certified Legacy, it doesn't matter. And we'll be going over the iPad first generation and whether it is usable or not. I have two iPads right here, both iPad 1s, and we will be going over whether or not they are completely usable as a daily driver, or if they're completely obsolete. As you know, this thing is 15 years old nowadays since it released in 2010. So yeah, first let me give you what the history is of this iPad, and yeah. So the first generation iPad released April 3rd, 2010, which makes it 15 years old, and it shipped with a 9.7-inch display, an A4 chip, and 256 megabytes of RAM, which was not much for the time. It came with storage sizes of 16 gigs, 32 gigs, and 64 gigs, and it also shipped with iPhone OS 3.2. So, what is the main problem from stopping you or me of using the iPad 1 in 2025? Well, the main problem is the RAM, like I mentioned earlier. The RAM is very low. Compared to like the successor of this, the iPad 2, it had double the RAM. Compare this to like the iPhone 4, which only came out 2 months later, it had double the RAM as well. And this was very low for 2010 standards. Another major downfall of the iPad 1 is that, I'm sorry, we're adjusting my camera, it did not have a camera at all. I don't know if you can see that. There is no camera to be found. So if you're just trying to like do like a FaceTime thing, which I don't even think existed. I don't have one on iOS 5. I have them all on 3 or 4, so I can't really confirm. If it has FaceTime, I'm pretty sure it does, but you can't FaceTime people or video call people on these these iPads. So that is another major downfall. Not that you would want to be taking pictures with the iPad 1 in 2025 anyway. Or like an iPad 2 in 2025, because these things just were never, iPads are not meant for like pictures. They are just iPads. They're tablets. You don't take pictures with tablets. You don't see someone in the real world going out by like the lake or something and they're holding up their iPad and they're taking pictures with their iPad because it's too bulky for that and it won't fit in your pocket. So it just doesn't work like that. So yeah, it only had 256 megabytes of RAM, which was not very much, and it only topped at iOS 5 because it had no RAM. That was the main problem. It had barely any RAM at all, and that stopped it from getting much more support, security updates, and stuff like that from you using this today. And like compare that to like the iPad 2 that lasted until iOS 9. So yeah, it kind of got dropped pretty quickly. So what is the best iOS version to run on any of these iPads? We'll do a little speed test just to show how these apps go through opening apps and stuff like that, standard procedure. Also, if you are ever even considering trying these things, you obviously need a jailbreak, and jailbreaking these iPads is pretty easy in 2025. But anyway, let me show you the difference between iOS 4 and iOS 3. That is not 4 and 3 on my hands, but who cares? We'll just go through it. So let's do that. So let's test out opening up some apps. We are going to open the Notes app at the same time, so let me show you that. So first, actually, we're going to go through with how fast these things close. So I'll just show you the animation of me closing the Notes app on iOS 3.2.2. Look how snappy that is, and let's compare it to iOS 4. Much slower, as you can see. Let's try opening the Notes app at both at once. You can see that opened up quite faster on this one. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it did open up faster. And closing animations again, that one is way more sluggish. Let's open up videos. I'll just show you. You can see that opens up way faster, and let's go to videos on here. much slower. Also, this one actually has videos loaded on this from the past user, so that is also pretty cool. I'll just show you the animations as well. See how much of a delay it is from me pressing the button. So, as you can see, iOS 3 is the superior option. I will also leave a link on how to downgrade these things in the description, so you can get iOS 3 or 4. But remember, iOS 4 will always have the better app compatibility, but iOS 3 will always be faster. So in 2025, this thing is pretty much useless, and I would not even go for this if I only had $15 to buy it off eBay. Unless you're a collector like me, there's probably no reason to buy this iPad at all. So, yeah. If you are looking for something that is a better legacy iOS device and is a lot easier to downgrade, well, that's not true. The iPad 1 is probably easier to downgrade. I don't know what I'm going on about. I would recommend the iPad 2. As you can see right here, this iPad runs iOS 4, but normally you would get this on iOS 9 and you would downgrade it to iOS 6, which is quite easy, and it's a lot faster and has way better gaming compatibility. And you can also get Viteris and sideload a ton of games a lot easier instead of doing it the manual method like this. And this is quite annoying. This is an iPhone box method, but yeah, you get what I mean. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share with someone that might find this interesting. This has been Derek from Certified Legacy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.